Welcome one and all to another edition of the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, brought to you by Water Cleanup of Florida. I talk about this each and every time, and I can't talk about it enough because I was faced with leak issues, and I didn't handle it well. I was just becoming familiar with Water Cleanup of Florida and didn't realize the power that they have and just how good they are at what they do. And I found out really quickly that they are really good at what they do. And when you see anything around your home, don't hesitate. Give them a call, 954-579-0356. Don't let leaks turn into water problems, turn into water damage, turn into full-scale issues. Yes, if you have those full-scale issues, because you are not the brightest like me, they'll make you look bright because they'll take care of it, and they'll get it done quickly and reasonably, and you'll feel better. However, if when you start seeing signs, and it's just maybe a small leak or the beginning of a leak, and you reach out to them, it'll be even easier and even better. Give them a call, 954-579-0356. Michael, Robert, their entire team, over 60 years of combined experience. And I say that a lot because that's a long time. In this game, if you can have that much experience and be willing to share it as the public, you should take advantage of it. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are available to you. Give them a call, and they will make your life so much better and take care of anything water related with your home or office. But again, I urge you, don't let it get bigger. Take care of it when it's smaller, when it's at that leak or beginning of leak stage. With licensed and certified contractors, they'll not only take care of any problems, they'll make it look brand new. Again, 954-579-0356. Also, check them out on their website, wcufl.com. Check them out on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Water Cleanup FL. Plus, they're all over Google. People are letting you know just how great Water Cleanup of Florida is, just like I'm doing right here with over 75-star reviews. Water Cleanup of Florida. If you have the schmutz, believe me, they have the guts. The Miami Hurricanes football team was this year. They're doing really well on the recruiting trail. They did not do well on the football field. The Miami basketball team, men's basketball team, found their way in the Elite Eight last year and are picking right up where they left off, 10-1 this season, second in the ACC so far, 25th ranked in the country. A man we enjoy talking to because he is a basketball treasure, he is a sports treasure, and he is a man that we have a great time each and every time we talk to him. Coach Jim Larranaga joined us today. Check out our conversation. We'll talk a lot about the transfer portal, what it means when it comes to football and basketball, college sports in general, and those Canes men's hoops. That Canes men's hoops team right here. Coach Jim Larranaga joins Defo and I on the Defo Show with Lubie here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Lubie, are we set with the coach?
Hello?
Sort of, yeah. Coach Larranaga, how are you, my friend? Good to have you on the show again.
Well, it's always my pleasure to talk with you guys.
Good morning, sir.
Well, yeah, it's great. And, I don't want to say that, we were bandwagon jumpers, but we did wait once again until you were like in the NCAA final to call. 10-1. Wow. I mean, tell us about this start with your team and some of the reasons for the great success you're having. And it seems like you're in a lot of thrill-in Manila type of games, including that game with Colgate, which went 107,
No,
105.
you mean Cornell.
Just a phenomenal game.
Cornell,
yeah.
Cornell.
I'm thinking of Syracuse beating up on Colgate when they needed a win when Jimmy B was playing a soft schedule there before you get started in the Big East in those years. But anyway, how did this all come about? Tell us about what's happened and what the experience has been like so far.
Okay, well, first of all, it begins with recruiting. You have to have good players. And we were able to bring in 4 very good freshmen and 2 transfers. And those 6 guys have combined with our 6 returning players and half our team. And it's worked out very, very well. We have very good on the court and off the court chemistry. The guys are working very, very hard. And I'm really enjoying them because their personalities are such you always want to be around the players. North Shadow Mirror is how the players describe him. He's a monster. He's 6'7", 245 pounds of dynamite. And he is the happiest, smiliest, friendliest kid you ever wanted to be around. Our students have just fallen in love with his personality and his on-the-court performance. So that's been great. Nigel Pack, another transfer, has come in and partnered with Isaiah Wong in the backcourt, and they've been terrific together. They really enjoy playing with each other, and it's been very fun to seeing them develop together. And then Jordan Miller has emerged as an incredible all-conference caliber player, Mr. Do-Everything with his ability to guard 5 positions, 1 through 5, and offensively score at a very high rate. So we've got a good team. We've played a lot of close games. We've been successful in most of those. Our only loss was to Maryland, who was very, very good. And we've had some quality wins against Rutgers and Central Florida, who's very, very good. And the other day, we won our second conference game against NC State.
That was great, too. And, anytime I think of NC State, I always see Jimmy Valvano, which, of course, he was featured at ESPN, dedicating a lot of time to his Cancer Research Foundation, which has done phenomenal things. Dick Vitale always moves me whenever he's saying anything, pretty much, especially since he sort of helped put college basketball on the map and out there in the forefront with his enthusiasm for the game. But, I couldn't help but think of Valvano, and I know you did you have experiences with Jimmy V? I would imagine so.
I sure did.
As a player against him? And
no.
A coach?
No, we never played against Jimmy. He's a few years ahead of me. But as a coach, when I was an assistant coach, he was the head coach at NC State. But whenever anybody asks me about Jimmy Valvano, I always tell the story about when he came to my house in Bowling Green, Ohio, after doing a Washington Speakers Bureau speech to the Italian American Hall of Fame dinner in Toledo. I went to the dinner, listened to him. I laughed the whole time. He's hysterically funny. He came to my house. He sat up, smoking a cigar, drinking some wine, and telling stories to my 2 boys who were very young at the time. And he had them laughing hysterically till 4 o'clock in the morning. And I drove him back to his hotel, and then he flew back to Raleigh, North Carolina, where he was coaching at the time. And just a great guy, and so sad we lost him. He was only 47 years old when he passed. He accomplished an awful lot in his lifetime, and in his memory, we're accomplishing an awful lot in our fight against cancer.
No doubt about it, and always well put. And anytime we ask you about any of the icons of the game, Jim Larranaga, our guest here on the Defo Show here on South Florida Live. All right, I remember speaking with you when all of this stuff started with transfer portals and things like that, and name, image, and likeness. And I thought I sensed some concern, that you didn't necessarily know, or nobody did, if this was going to be total chaos or how it was going to impact things. And, I think, in your coaching roots with the teams that you've been with previously, you probably had guys that stuck around for a while and weren't going through so much transition from year to year. So how have you been able to adjust to this? I mean, it's kind of like when Shula saw Marino throw his first pass at practice back in 1983 and said, I think I'm going to stop running the ball. I mean, how have you been able to transition to this? Because it really, as you said, has worked out almost in perfect symmetry. And I thought I remember you being a little bit concerned about what the future of the game was going to be like.
Well, you're talking about 2 different things. One, my transition during this period has been the same it's been throughout my career. Tell me what the rules are, and we'll adapt our style. We'll always have the same culture where we believe our players and anybody associated with our program should have a positive attitude, make a total commitment to being the best that they can be, and always behave in a first-class manner, be a role model in our community. But the state of college basketball has changed. And now, for example, if any college coach was asked, who are you going to have coming back next year, nobody knows, because you have no idea what guys could go to the pros, but now they can just transfer and go to another school and play right away. And in our preparation for our opponents, I'm looking at their rosters and I'm seeing 3, 4 guys who transferred in, and 2 or 3 of them are starting. And I don't even know who they are or where they came from. We have to look up on that.
Jeez.
You know, this guy, we just played NC State. 3 of their starters are terrific players who transferred from other schools. Some of them transferred from more than one school. They went to, I think one young man went to Mississippi and then Winthrop, and then NC State was his third stop.
Jeez.
And I just think that's the norm now, and you just have to adjust to it.
Coach, one thing I've appreciated about Coach throughout the years is when it comes to telling a player to go to, say, I guess, whether it's when it used to be the draft, Coach were very honest. You would say, look, you're going to be a top 15 pick. That's the kind of money no one can turn down. You should go. However, you need some seasoning. You should stay. When it comes to the transfer portal, I've heard a lot of coaches doing this same kind of a thing. I'm curious, how open are the players to listening? Because it feels like we're getting a lot of kids going into the transfer portal that really have no idea where they're going, and a lot of them have nowhere to go in the end. So you're really spurning a scholarship where I'm all about the transfer portal being wide open. The problem is it feels like it's hurting a lot of kids, and a lot of kids are getting bad advice. How open are the kids to your advice when it comes to go or stay?
Oh, they are definitely listening, but just not to the coach.
Exactly.
Not to the coach.
Exactly.
They're listening. They're listening to the parents. They're listening to the agent. All these kids now have agents.
Yep.
Those AAU coaches are becoming agents, and the transfer portal has opened up business opportunities for people. I mean, just look at what's happened with colleges around the country. We now have people who've been hired by our athletic department to be totally in charge of NIL education. That's a whole new area. We have now people who have websites based on the transfer portal, ranking them, and these people are making money off of that. So it's a big business. Players, and here's a good example of what you're talking about. 1,700 players entered the portal last year, but over 300 did not get scholarships.
Wow.
So they gave up a scholarship and didn't get an offer. So it's a double-edged sword. It's great for the kids who transfer and get to play more and play well and be involved in a different program and have some more success. But it's also very dangerous for someone to enter the portal not knowing if he's even ever going to get an offer.
One thing, too, it has to be a radical difference. I remember a couple of lifetimes ago when I was calling basketball games for a few years. They were in the Big East, and you would see an opponent a couple of times a year, and you knew all of their tendencies. You knew their players. Georgetown was Georgetown. Cuse was going to be in the 2-3, and you could – I mean, I could have at least, come up with some of the preparations for how to attack a team and how to play against them. How has that changed in terms of coaching preparation? Because, as you said, I mean, all of a sudden you have a team that you saw last year, and they look absolutely nothing like they did the year before. And can you maintain a certain type of style, in terms of your own coaching style, and try to find players that fit that, or do you just have to adapt and change on the fly as the talent dictates?
Yeah, Defo, that's exactly right. And we've had to adapt regularly throughout my career because in our recruitment, we haven't always been able to get the same kind of guy. Like right now, we're very short. Last year, we played small ball. This year, we're playing smaller ball. But that's basically what you have to do. Coaches are constantly making the adjustment. And I'm going to make a big adjustment right now. I'm at the doctor's. I have an eye exam at 8:30, and I'm already 1 minute late.
Well,
All right, we'll
But
let
I
you
have
go
to
to it.
run, guys.
luck,
I
Coach.
apologize.
No problem,
Okay.
Coach. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up with you again. And thanks so much for doing this. Always appreciate it.
Always a great time, not only talking college hoops, but college athletics in general. A guy that's been around the game a long time talked about the transfer portal and was a little weary. He's done a good job with it, but we've seen it explode when it comes to college football, when it comes to college basketball. And look, the Canes football and basketball team have done a good job with it. We've seen Florida State, Florida do a good job with it. But there are thousands of kids out there going into the portal, and there's not thousands of scholarships to be had. And that's the big issue we're seeing is I'm all for the portal. As I said, I'm all about it. I think the kids should have the ability to go wherever they want, whenever they want. The problem is you should know you're wanted. And just because your parents or an agent tells you to go, make sure you do your research. Make sure you put your feelers out there and know that someone will take you. That's an issue we're seeing. And that's the one thing I'd like to be looked into is how do we protect the kids from the adults? Just taking any advice possible. Look, when they wanted to go to the draft, there's usually some research you can, and it's not 100%. Sometimes they'll give you a first-round grade and you don't get drafted. But at least there's something there. A lot of these kids going in the transfer portal have no clue. If people are, they're hearing, oh, you go here, oh, you go there. And then they go into the portal and no one takes them. And now you've left. And now the program you left filled your spot, and now you have nowhere to go. And you went from having a scholarship, whatever scholarship is, it's not payment. But you know what? If you're not going to play in the league, a scholarship is very important. College is very expensive. So if someone's going to pay for your college and even give you money on top of that, and you are not going to be a pro, it's very useful. So to take a scholarship, throw it away, and not get a new one, really bad. So enjoyed Coach Larranaga's opinion on that and his basketball team. Check out the Miami Hurricanes Hoops team. Check us out each and every morning, The Defo Show with Lubie on the South Florida Live Network. Just Google The Defo Show with Lubie. Check us out on YouTube or Google South Florida Live. Check it out on YouTube. Check out our national podcast. Each and every Thursday we talk with legendary, hysterical, hilarious, and well-equipped handicapper Brandon Lang. He had been doing really well. Last week wasn't his best, but he's gave us a bevy of picks this week on the Believe Network, BLEAV.com. Search After Hours and check us out lots of days with our South Florida content right here. The Devo Show with Lubie on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.